If something is a priority, you will make time for it. We've all heard this and we know it to be true. This is so true for your Teachers Pay Teachers business. Hello everyone, my name is Sherry from Rolling Acres Education. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if this is not your first time. And first of all, I want to say that I'm coming to you from St. Augustine Beach. My mother's 88th birthday was this weekend, and so we were going to spend the week here at the beach, so that I might have a couple of videos filmed from this little house we have. So today, I first of all want to talk about time. How much time does it take to build a solid Teachers Pay Teachers income? And there's two ways we can look at this. Are we talking about how many years does it take, or are we talking about how many hours per week do we need to put into our business? And we're going to look at both. Both are covered in that survey that came out, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll link the survey below. I'll link my other videos where I've talked about it, and a video where It's All Primary goes over it, and she does a good overview of it. But I just want to look at the time aspect today, and especially hours per week, because you really can't control how long you've been on Teachers Pay Teachers. You can't make the time go any faster. You can't make yourself have been on it any longer. And so there's really not a lot that you have control over there unless you haven't started yet. And if you haven't started yet, then you can start now, and that will give you more time on Teachers Pay Teachers. But I do want to say that the study definitely shows that if you put in the time and are persistent, you will start to see the rewards. People who have been in it for a number of years are making very good money. But today I want to talk about the number of hours, or the hours per week, that you put into your Teachers Pay Teachers business. And here's a shocking revelation. The more time you put into your business, the more successful it's going to be. I don't know why we think that an online business is different than any other business. If you put in the time and you put in the work, you're going to see results. Yes, some people are going to see more results than you, and you're going to see more results than other people, but overall, if you put in the time and work, you're going to see results. So how many hours are we talking? Well, a lot of that depends on you. What are your goals? If you're working a full-time job, especially if you're in the classroom, full-time, you may be like, I don't care about this really growing quickly. I'm just looking to leave the classroom in a few years, or I'm retiring in a few years, and I would like, by the time I do that, to have a good solid income from this business. Or maybe this is your full-time business and you're like, yeah, I really want to see this grow quickly. Then you're going to need to put in the hours. So there were 1,007 respondents to the survey, and the majority of them were under 2 years, and the number one response was working less than 5 hours. The largest group said that they worked less than 5 hours per week on their Teachers Pay Teachers business. So let's see what kind of results that brings. And I'm going to mainly focus on the 1,000. Starting out, I'm going to talk a little bit about the smaller groups with the smaller amount of money, because that was your larger groups, and then I'll start building up to the larger amounts, okay? And again, I'm going to try to stick to the facts first and share my insights later. So again, the largest group was under 5 hours, and of the 1,007, 381 of those said that they work less than 5 hours per week on their business. That was 38% of the people who responded, and that's over a third. Over a third of the people who responded said, I only work 5 hours or less on my business. And of those people who responded, 32% were making less than $100. So if you're working less than 5 hours a week, you've got a 32% chance of making under $100 a month, and a 78% chance of making under $1,000 a month. Now, there was less than 1% that was making $10,000 a month, but that's probably someone who's already put in the work, probably has help. They probably have some people doing, other people doing some of that part of the business, and they probably already built up their products and everything, and now they're getting to sit back and relax. Interesting little side story. I have not had a lot of $100 days, but I did have one on the second day of September. I had a $100 day, and I was telling my mom, I said, oh wow, I made $100 yesterday, and she's like, how did you do that? You were hanging out at the beach all day. And I said, exactly. Now, do I have $100 days all the time? No. Can I spend my whole time relaxing on the beach? No. But those days could come. There could come days when you are spending a whole week on the beach and you're making hundreds of dollars a day. But it takes time, both years and hours per week. So, number 2, 5 to 10 hours per week. There were 276 people who said they worked 5 to 10 hours a week on their business, and that was 27%. So, 65% of people work 10 hours or less on their Teachers Pay Teachers business. That's 2/3. 2/3 of the people only spend about 10 hours or less per week on their business, okay? Of those people, 59% were making less than $1,000. So a good percentage of them were making less than $1,000. 30% were making more than $2,000. So 30% of people were making more than $2,000 a month. 3% were making more than $10,000. And again, they're probably the ones that have already put in the time and have help, okay? Moving on to 10 to 20 hours per week. There were 199 people responded to this. 43% of them were making less than $1,000 a month. 41% of them were making more than $2,000, and 9% were making more than $10,000. Now, you could start getting to where you see people who are starting to build their income off of 10 to 20 hours per week, but they probably have a lot of years in, okay? 85% of people who responded to this survey were working less than 20 hours per week, okay? Full work week, we consider 40 hours, so they're working about half or less, and the vast majority of them are making $2,000 a month or less, okay? Now, here's when we start to see a little flip. When you get into that 20 to 30 hours per week, you can really start to see some income. And not a lot of people work that much on their Teachers Pay Teachers Teachers Pay Teachers business. Only 84% of the people who responded said that they worked 20 to 30 hours per week on their store. Of those people, only 31% were making less than $1,000. That's still kind of a significant number. 55% were making more than $2,000. So if they were only making $2,000, which a lot of them were making more, that's around $16 per hour. So that's for, a side job, that's not bad, okay? And it's something you enjoy, whereas if I had to go out and work like at Walmart, sorry, nothing against people who work at Walmart, or something else where, like I had to actually leave my home and get dressed and all that, but here I'm staying home, I'm enjoying what I'm doing. $16 an hour for a second job, it's not bad, okay? 23% were making more than $10,000 a month. So, moving to the 30 to 40 hours per week, there were 46 people, not a lot of people out of 1,000 that were working their business 30 to 40 hours per week. And we start to consider 30, 35 hours per week kind of a full-time job. All right, 15% of those were making under $1,000. And if you think about it, that could be people in their first year, okay? I would say that if you're working 30 to 40 hours per week and you're in your second or third year, you're probably in these higher groups. 74% were making more than $2,000. If you're working 30 to 40 hours per week, you've got a good chance of making over $2,000 a month, and you've got a 54% chance of making $5,000 or more a month, okay? Put in the time, put in the effort, the rewards are going to come. And a 32% chance of making $10,000 or more. 32% of the people, almost a third, that were putting 30 to 40 hours into their business were making more than $10,000 a month, okay? And then we have the 40 plus group. This is the group I want to be in, not there yet, but I'm wanting to be there. And there were only 21 of those. And again, this is your people. I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but I don't think anybody working a full-time job is going to be able to put 40 hours a week into this Teachers Pay Teachers business. I don't know. Maybe if they work and they don't have anything else, it's possible. But if they have a family and all that, then you're probably not going to be able to work 40 hours a week on your business, but that's okay. Anyway, 10% were making less than $1,000. And again, these could be people just starting out. If they're making 40, don't think, oh, working 40 hours a week and you're still only making less than 1,000. These could be people just starting out, just learning. I would say if they're a few years in, it's not those people, okay? 86% of people were making over 2,000. 40 hours a week, 86% were making over 2,000. 62% were making over 5,000 and 24% were making over 10,000, okay? And this is not like the products, like when we were talking about over 500 products, that could be a lot of products. That could be 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 products. Probably not a lot of people do that. But when you come to hours per week, 40 plus, you're probably not got a lot of people out there working a lot more than 40 hours. I mean, you can only work so many hours a week. And so 40 hours, if you're putting 40 hours per week, you can consider yourself, in this group. And I mean, the chances of making a good income are really high. If you're putting in the time, you have a really good chance of making some real money. So again, my lessons learned from this are really simple. Put in the time and you will get the reward. If you are working part-time and you can only put a few hours a week into your business, that's okay. You can only do what you can do. And you probably are not as anxious for that income to start building. If you have another income coming in, you're probably okay with it building slowly. But if you want this to build quickly and this is your job, then you need to be putting in those hours. Again, 20 to 30 is when you can really start to see a good monthly income. Like I said, 55% were making at least 2,000 and 23% were making at least 10,000. Again, how many years you've been in does have to do with it. Then 30 to 40, over 40, you have got a really good chance of making a really good income. So again, no surprise. I don't know why people think online businesses are different than anything else, like there's some kind of magic formula. There's not. Put in the time, put in the effort, be willing to learn how to improve what you're doing, and the results will come. So just remember, you've got this, God's got you, and I'll see you from St. Augustine in the next video. Bye-bye.